Hello everyone. Today also we are here with our fourth episode of this one-to-one discussion series. So as usual, uh, Dr. Asas is with me today for this discussion. Uh, so
Thanks.
I would
Yeah,
like
thanks for
to
having
ask
me
my.
today. Yeah.
You're welcome. So I'd like to ask my first question as a beginning for the today's discussion. Uh, so now there's this two entities that we broadly discussed in the last episodes as well, and also is two main categories that we see in life um, that is broadly debated over. That is the self and the others, and you could say in the otherwise the separation is these two categories or the two broad terms. um, uh, when you compare these two, is both the same, or is one of them better, or is both of them the same? Is there another way to look at these two broad categories in life?
Uh, you are categorizing self and the others, right? Am I correct?
And also separation and unity.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, uh, separation is something that is inherent to the human psychology. That means when we born, when we are born, I mean, when we are very, when you are in, as a child, uh, we tend to recognize separate objects that's they are outside, right? So there is a you will find that there are small cars, and there he will find small uh, doors and all, right? So separate objects can be identified, that is they are outside. So when the human, so that is human nature in some sort of way. So separation sort of uh, a way that is there towards the unity. I would say like that, because uh, in the initial stage, in the initial stage, what we are doing is we separately identify objects that's they are outside, and we detect them as outside objects and not ourselves, right? So these separate objects are not us here. So we have that demarcation between us and that separate object that's there outside in the physical world. Then sort of then we can play this game by comparing these objects that's they are outside with ourselves, and we can sort of play this game of that we are now currently doing. The human race is currently what we are uh, doing is that kind of competitive game between these objects that's they are outside. However, later on, when someone, when an entity is fed up with this kind of separation, uh, he will inquire uh, into more deep uh, questions like who am I? So that where who am I, and where is this quality of I lies in, like that. So then he of course go on and inquire that. So initially this body is me, right? So this body is me, and the rest of the world is separate from the me, like that. That's the sense that the majority of the human nature identified with, right? So later on, uh, when this game is, I mean, when someone is little bit fed up with this type of game because of a lot of challenges that is occurring into this body as well as to this mind or human nature, human psychology. Later on, uh, entities will inquire whether this body is actually me, right? So then sort of again a separation between the body and the me is built. So it is also a separation, kind of a separation, right? So I is there, the body is there, and then we identify that the body is not me, right? So that is also a separation. So body is not me, right? So I is there in the background, and body is not me. Then later on, thoughts, memories, like that's all the experiences. We try to uh, identify them, and we sort of identify them as separate objects, which appears within me, right? So appears within the consciousness itself. So I would give this example like when you take the uh, uh, yeah, we'll take the desktop, we'll take the computer desktop, Windows, Microsoft desktop. So I would say that the consciousness is the desktop, and the icons are these the thoughts, body, and all the other separate objects that can be deleted and can be added, right? uh, so these icons can be sort of replaced and can appear and disappear within the desktop. So most of the current trend is that the people try to be an icon in this world, right? So so people try to be an icon in this world. So we respect icons. So we sort of try to follow the icons in this world. But I would say that the what's there behind the icon is the most important thing, that is the desktop. So I would say be a desktop instead of an icon. Right? So uh, so the ultimate separation would be, the final step of separation would be to identify that I am the desktop, not the icon. So in that moment, the separation will turn into the unity, where it sees that the desktop, within the desktop, everything arises and disappears. So that way, I would say the separation is the key element that leads to the unity, but uh, in a sort of a methodical way that I mean, separation was involved in that process. That's my sort of explanation for your for to identify this separation and the unity, how they are tallied and how they are sort of explained. Yeah.
So is this separation is the first step towards unity, and is it a one-way process, and is unity again a first step of separation? Is there to and fro uh, going there and coming back, or is it just a one-way process from separation to unity? Or when you reach the point of unity, is it again, can it be a new beginning to again to see the world as separate,
Yeah.
or coming back to the starting point?
Yes. I think you are trying. I would say separation would lead to unity. Then again, it will come back, and I mean, it will sort of identify the things separately, but in the background of that awareness about that unity. I mean, in the background of that realization of unity, we have that we identify things separately, but later on it will sort of come back. I mean, the separation is essential to function in this world, right? So otherwise, you if you do not identify the gate. Otherwise, so you will not open it. If you do not identify it as a separate object, you will not identify. You will not open the gate and go outside, right? So you have to sort of identify them as separate objects, but sort of have that background realization that everything is interconnected, and it is one ocean moving uh, moving in unity with all the elements, like a fluid like a fluid nature. All the elements are uh, functioning towards the sort of one one goal. So yeah, so
So
I would say, yeah, for separation it starts. So to come to this to realization of unity, the separation is an essential part. I mean, plants, if you take plants, they identify the high energy objects like sun, earth, and they grow towards the sun, and the roots will grow towards the earth, and like that they identify these objects separately. Because of that, they sort of uh, have that awareness. Then later on, animals also separately they identify. Then later on, they develop this self-awareness, and later become human beings. And human beings inquire the self-awareness more and identify who am I clearly. The answer to this question, who am I? Then later on, it will sort of leads to realization of unity, and then with understanding about the unity, again it diverge into separation with that understanding. I think, do you have any other opinion about that, or what do you think, Asha?
so I mean, I'm with you there, but why did you prefer being a desktop than being an icon in your last speech? Why did you
uh,
put it like that?
yeah, so yeah, it's a way to sort of motivate people to identify the desktop. Later on, at the highest end, I would say everything be including every. I mean, it will become all will become inclusive. I mean, yeah. Then we do not see the difference between the icons and the desktop, but sometimes some people, when the people are more focused towards the icons, then I would say there's a desktop. So realize that, or work towards that end as well. So it is a relatively director speech actually. Otherwise, I would say both the desktop and the icons are at the same level, and one is not lower or higher than the other.
You said something about the sun. Do you believe that the do you say that the sun has a consciousness?
I would say everything. Uh, Everything has the. I mean, every sun. I would agree that sun has a consciousness, and every consciousness is not the consciousness that the medical consciousness that we are referring to. It is a consciousness that we are now here. Here we are talking about is something rather deep. That means it arises that uh, it has this awareness of being uh, itself, right? So I would say everything under the sun also has not only the sun, everything has some sort of a consciousness. And uh, I'm going to introduce this book called Law of One. So in the Law of One, it says there are 7 densities of consciousness, where there is one level 1 consciousness being the rocks and all these uh, we what we call the non-living objects, right? So all the non-living objects are categorized under level 1 density, and level 2 density is all the plants and the lower, I mean the plants and the animals basically. The third density would be the human, uh, who has not discovered the unity, or who has not realized the unity element, right? So then the fourth element will is the one which all this the human has human mind, human beings have realized the love and the unity that governs everything under the sun. So yeah, so like that, there are 7 densities. I like to encourage those who have not heard of this book, Law of One. Uh, it is said to be a book which is sort of written by a higher density being called Ra, which was who was uh, who was sort of lived way billions of years ago. It's a kind of like a kind of like story, but some I mean it will, I mean if this one resonates with you, I think you should read that book and see whether if you think the plants also have consciousness, or rocks also has consciousness, if that thing resonates with you, I prefer you to read that book and see what's there to uh, get to you, right? So it will get to you once you have that capacity to grasp that. So that's my answer. So sun, so what do you think about the sun and the black hole? Do you think do they have consciousness? So what do you think?
Mm, I would say consciousness, as we mean it, I don't think, as we define it as consciousness, I don't know actually whether it is there for them. I mean, the sun, the black holes. But I believe that the ingredients that made our what we call the consciousness is everywhere in the sun, in the plants, everywhere. So, scientific definition, whether it will match the scientific definition, is of being. It is sense of being, or that term is more applicable, I think, to that scenario rather than the consciousness, because we have defined the consciousness relative to the humans in the scientific terms. Mm,
Yeah,
so that's my point.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Great.
that's all.
Right. So let me ask a small question from you. This is regarding a controversial topic, right? So about the religions, right? So there are a lot of religions out there in the world, and I think so there are a lot of discrepancies among each of these. That means they are, I mean, as a if you if you look at them outwardly, it is like totally different, right? So this region is totally different from that region, with the words and how they describe them, the meanings behind them. So there are a lot of differences can be seen when you look at those religions outwardly. Uh, I'm going to ask is, first I would like to ask, what is your religion? Simple one. We'll ask from that.
Um, Nothing.
Nothing. Is that the atheist?
My religion is, I would say, no. My religion is humanity, I would say.
Right, right. So if the aliens come, would, so you will fight against the aliens?
Why should I?
Because you are humans now. Those are not humans now.
I said humanity.
Humanity. Okay. What are the
To
qualities that the humanity
I
has?
mean
So
I mean that is that I say relative to the people who have created again, who have created a bond between their religion and the facts, and who are completely adhering to them and creating divisions between
I'm sorry, a little
people.
bit. There's a small.
Relative to those people, my religion is humanity. That
Okay. There's a small connection problem. Can you repeat the answer
okay.
if it's possible?
Oh yeah, I said humanity uh, relative to those people who are strongly adhered to what's been said in their religions and creating divisions among people according to the religion they are born in. Relative to them, my religion is humanity. We always
Okay.
speak relatively.
Right. So right. Yeah. 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 I can understand.
Uh,
So if the I mean if there are extraterrestrial uh, people like someone we it can happen also some people some aliens or some sort of group comes here and with different qualities, right? They don't have human qualities at all. So then what would be your stance relative to them?
I don't have a stance relative to them. I mean, I can't define relative to them. I don't know what you are, what who they are. I mean, you said they have different qualities, but I can't give an answer relative to them. Means if I don't know who they are, you didn't say which qualities they have. So because we know the people in the earth, so relative to people in the earth, I can give an opinion. But if you say unknown uh, living beings come here and what is your stance relative to them, then I cannot give an answer. But
Right.
but definitely it's not that I would fight them or I will create a division between humans and them. Uh, actually, uh, actually, you can't give a direct answer to that question. I gave the answer only relative to the people on earth.
Right. So you say that you don't have a religion and you have this, you have the, you are following
I first
the
said religion is nothing. Then I said humanity.
religion is nothing. Can you please elaborate on
As
that?
I remember, my first no, as I remember, my first answer was nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Correct. So nothing. Okay. So religion is, so you that means you don't have a religion. Is that the one you are trying? Or it's also not the answer you are mentioning.
No, no. I mean, how can you say? I mean, there's no actually. Is there a meaning to the word religion? Can you define religion first?
In the I mean in the world sense, I mean the world has given a name to certain practices and certain rituals uh, to be done in order to sort of have mental relief or some kind of a mental uh, happiness, right? So that kind of thing, they are following that kind of rituals. So do you have that kind of approach like that?
Yes, I have many rituals that I follow, and according to them, I'm a Buddhist.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't follow them in order to find peace in my mind. I don't find peace in my mind through the rituals. But
Hmm.
if you ask according to what rituals that I follow, I am a Buddhist.
Hmm. Right, right, right. Now I get it. Okay, right. Uh, so do you represent Buddhists culture?
I represent everyone.
Yeah, right. Okay. Right. Okay, that's great. Right. Let's move on. So what
Actually,
I wanted.
I have to say something. Yeah, actually, in my childhood, I was like that. I was representing Buddhists, and but I got this question very often that now we are the only sane people in the world, and all the others are sinners, or all the others are bad people, or they are idiots or something like that. That's how we are being taught. Now we are the lucky ones, and all others are unlucky to be born in other religions. And I think these things have been added later to our religions. These divisions, uh, the modifications, but their original teachers must have taught, have created these kind of ideas uh, into a certain divisions culture, and actually which enables uh, the people who has the capacity to think whether this is correct or not. Then they start to question this. So in a way, it's good that these things have been created, that they can uh, so because of them, there are the questions arise in their minds as they grow up, who has the potential to see the reality of this.
Hmm. Right, right. So with that open-minded approach, we'll look at this. Uh, Look at the religions. The most debatable religion out there is nowadays in the world is Islam, right?
Okay.
So is in Islam a lot of controversial kind of texts are there in the holy book, in their holy book Quran. So what is your, so in one of the contexts, one of the messages given in that book is all the unbelievers needs. I'm paraphrasing this one. If something is not correct, please forgive me. Right. Right. Uh, I'm paraphrasing. All the non-believers should be killed or uh, should be eliminated. That kind of the idea is given in the Islamic Quran, right? So, in the meantime, when we listen to some of the uh, terrors now currently uh, in our in Sri Lanka currently, well, like Tittagali terror and like Samantha Badatero, both of them also use this word killing uh, a lot of times. So when you hear them speaking, they've used the word kill a lot of times. So do you seeing a similarity between these two? Uh, is there a hidden meaning behind these phrases? Can there be double meanings? What are your thoughts on that?
Actually, I personally, I have heard a lot of uh, sermons of Samantha Badutero and Titagalle Tero, and I think I understand what they mean by that, and I believe that those words have also may have been used by the other teachers millions of thousands of years in the past as well. Uh, which their followers must have misinterpreted. And now, after thousands of years, now they have written books about that and misinterpreted those words, and actually they have come to a level of killing the people. So that's why I believe, without a live person who actually uh, actually has understood this reality, um, the the society can go wild with whatever they have told, using what those people, what they do are magical. So after after they have passed away, what they are told as being considered sacred, but the words the words what they have spoken are the only ones left. So those words they consider as sacred, and then they uh, say to their next generation, and they write books about it. And after generations, hundreds of generations, thousands of generations, these words completely uh, the value increases, not the actual practice, but the words itself. So it has gone up to a level that you actually go and kill someone, and that is insane. Uh, so if you ask me what they mean by that, it is actually, to me, as I understand um, eh, the everything that we experience is an illusion of the mind. Is create everything that we experience in this world, and all the problems that we we think we have are the construction of your mind. So the escape or the solution to this does not lie in the outside world. It it is totally a mind work. It has to be done with something inside of you, in your thoughts. Uh, that is something in there. So these people uh, who have realized this truth, they speak to the minds of the people who has the potential to solve this mystery inside their mind. So in order for them to understand, they use these words killing, and that killing actually, as I understand it, I believe that it is the killing of the images that you have in your mind. I mean, the image I have about my mother, my father, uh, my son, my wife. This there are certain images that if you say now, if you ask me where is your wife or where is your mother, now there's an image that comes to the mind, and that is we are fooled by as it is real. And these images, through these mind constructs, we create our own problems in this world. We create the inside the mind matrix, we create our own problems, and we see no way out of it. So this these teachings or these words are used to uh, actually target those mind constructions or the mind images that we have created. So the actual killing, the word is used to targeting these mind images. You have to be really to have a very low understanding level to interpret it as killing someone else, killing some other person. I mean, um, no one uh, with a good understanding about the world will would never ever have asked anyone to kill another person. Uh, that's what I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, and also I think if we were, by using those kind of words, they sort of trying to balance the two opposite polarities, like the killing versus the protected the love, and those opposite polarities are kind of balanced and sort of they have sort of giving that middle pathway by using those kind of words. That's another way of interpreting those the usage of those words. uh, I mean, do we actually, will it harm the world in a way by using that kind of words? I mean, what is the purpose of, no, not the purpose. uh, will it harm the world by using that kind of words by a in, by a super, the one who has sort of understood about the reality? Will it cause any harm?
It it depends on your understanding. What you define, what you understand by the word harm. If you think that the good in this world is uh, earning money, having a good family, and uh, living a long life, that things are, if you think those things are the only good things in this world, then after hearing such words, sometimes people actually realize the truth, and uh, they sometimes abandon some of those things. They may abandon some of those things. uh, in that sense, it can cause harm. But if the if you are but the good it does is, I according to me, as I understand, the good it does is far greater, because a person grows up with uh, unknowing the world, the problems that it has, and he dies with in mind a lot of questions. But if before death, if he find the answers to all his questions that there was in his mind, and there's no other blessing that a person can have. So I so that the whether it does harm or not depends on what you define as harm.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think that's all for today. Yeah. Do you have any other questions? No, no. Do you have?
So that's all.
Right. So we'll meet another time to discuss another topic, interesting one. Right. So
Okay.
see you then. Bye.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.